can't do anything else. They can't lay a foundation. They can't lay the groundwork for a good relationship. They can't lay the foundation financially, is what I mean. They can't lay any of those things. The one thing they can lay. Hello ladies, good evening. It is Tuesday evening, and I will be very honest, I wasn't even going to get on camera tonight. I'm on my way to a victory party. You know, these are electoral times. But anyway, before I could leave, I received a very negative message regarding some comments that I made on my last video. And to be specific, without really getting into it, I basically said some things about Rose and Brett and about how enough is enough is what I was pretty much saying with regard to the negative comments and the nasty things that are being said about this couple, Queen of Kings. And essentially the comment was, I would expect you as an educated person to get yourself educated before speaking on the matter. It looks like it was all a hoax and she did it for views. So, you know, your sympathy for her is wasted. It just goes to show that you can have an education and still not be educated, basically is what it said. But here's this, and hear me well, I still feel the same way that I felt. The negative comments and things like that directed toward this young lady repeatedly, over and again, too extreme, calling cops and things like that, is too much. It's still too much. Have I watched all of their videos and things like that? No. But here's what I say, and I had already heard that it was a possibility that it was a hoax. Whether it is, I don't know. She did it to get views, I don't know. But I know this. I know that marriage is sacred, right? And I'm saying this as a divorced woman. That doesn't change my view on the fact that marriage is a sacred thing. So let's just play this out. For views, clicks, and likes, she said some very nasty things about her husband. That still means she's troubled. That still means she has problems. It does not mean people should dogpile on her, because I view marriage as a sacred thing. So the fact that she would, the idea, because I don't know that it's a fact, but the idea that she would do that for likes and still tells me that there is something wrong. I want to say they have like 1 million subscribers. I don't know if that's changed since this whole controversy, but that does not change my perspective of, dang, it's not necessary to be so doggone nasty. Like I'm one of those people who's just utterly confused at nastiness. You have to understand that you have to poke and poke and poke me several times before I get nasty. Well, there are a few things like, you know, just blatant racism and things like that. That can get an instant reaction. But as far as people making snide remarks and things like that, in my mind, I quickly assess, does this person really matter to me? And as soon as I come back with the answer of no, I'm very much unbothered by them. It starts to be a thing of, oh, you poor thing, you're really trying to get under my skin. That all being said, that doesn't mean that's for everyone. Like, people have a breaking point. The idea that she would even get on, whether it's for views, whether it's because it's true, whether she was drunk and she really, none of that matters. Just the idea that you would even say all of that, publicize all of that about your husband, the person that's supposed to walk through life with you, through all the trials and tribulations, for whatever reason that you would say that, tells me there's trouble there. There's something wrong, and we just don't need to sit there, judge, and dog her out for that. And I meant that. I still mean it. Like, and to try to shame me because of my job, you're as an educator, you should be educated. Girl, stop it. Stop. How about as a person, as a woman, I can still have opinions, and I do, and they stand. Yeah, every thought don't need to be said. Like, it just doesn't. I'll be 100 before I understand the effort. Do you know it takes more effort and energy to be nasty than it does to either be indifferent? Because that, I got that mastered. To either be indifferent or, you know, to just decide, yeah, I'm not going to bother with that. Or, you know what, I see you're upset. God bless you. I hope you get better soon. I have literally gone to the store and the clerk or someone is in a nasty mood, and, you know, people would snap. I don't know why you snapping at me. Nah, that takes too much energy. I have literally leaned over and said, you know, I hope your day gets better. Several times over the course of my life. I ain't gonna say it was like this year or whatever, but several times it has stopped that clerk in their tracks. And you know what? I'm sorry. I had a customer before you, girl, and that customer, blah, blah. And we ended up having a conversation. I've had a couple of clerks literally just say, you know what? That was really nice of you because I wasn't being nice. Can I have a hug? And I hugged them. Like, hugs are free. It just takes, I don't know. I just don't get it. I do not get that spirit of nastiness, and I hope I never do. I hope I never catch it. Like, I want to die ignorant of that. I really do. Yeah, no thank you.
I wanna be a weekend lover. Yeah, I'ma be the best damn lover you got. I wanna mess up your covers. I don't wanna meet your mother. Never ever ask me how I've been. Remember why you have my number. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling.
Okay, so we are out of the shower and getting ready to get ready for the night. We've got the birthday party. I'm not even sure where the camera cut off before, but I'm attending a birthday party tonight. They're having the Stylistics and the OJs perform there. If you hear a bit of noise, it's because I've got my fan going. I don't know about you, but when I'm fresh out of the shower, even if I have cool water as my cool down, sometimes I feel warmish because it's all the lotioning and everything else. But anyway, I've got that, and it's 50 plus. You saw the check. You saw the title, and you knew what you was in for anyway. But we're getting ready for that. So I'm gonna get made up and all of that jazz. I guess we could call this a bit of a date. But I don't know. I'm not necessarily feeling the whole, I don't know. I feel like I'm not feeling attached to anyone right now. It's a different vibe and feeling. So I'm kind of going with the flow. But one thing I will say is I'm very honest. I think that's only fair to men, you know, just to let them know, hey, I don't know that I'm necessarily serious. Actually, I know that I'm not necessarily serious about anyone. I'm honest enough about not being so serious right now about a relationship and things like that. I think that's fair for men. Also, I think it's fair that when, if, and as you meet someone, if he's doing things that irritate you, irk you, or something like that, don't just keep watching him do it. Tell him. Like, as bright and wonderful and awesome as men are, a lot of times they don't just take subtle, simple clues. They don't just figure things out. And I don't think it's fair that we as women a lot of times expect them to figure things out. Men don't spend a lot of time. So anyway, as we get ready for dates, you all should have seen me cooking some seafood earlier. And I'll be honest and tell you, I've eaten a decent amount. Started off as a taste, then I thought about it. I was like, oh, it's almost time for me to get ready for my date, right? So it went from being a taste to a bit of an appetizer, because one thing I do not do as a woman is I don't go on a date in need of anything. Back in the day, my mother used to tell me that you don't go out on a date without some money that rustles, as well as a quarter. That was when you could make a phone call for a quarter, right? because, you know, cell phones weren't as prominent. I'm that old. Y'all saw the title. So we did that. And now I would say women have no reason to really go, I do not know where all these little bumps are coming from. I guess it's the summertime, sweating and heat and stuff. But we're just going to keep on going. I feel that as women, you should always go out with some money. Go prepared. So as part of my preparedness, I don't go out hungry. I don't go out broke. I don't even go out horny. Let me tell you, and yeah, we're having that kind of conversation. Sorry, I hit the thing. Okay, for the purpose of context and clarity, I wanted to jump in and just say, I believe there is a difference between a woman being prepared and taking care of herself versus a woman who is so independent that she doesn't allow a man to be a man. You don't allow him to court you, to open your doors, and to pay for dates, and do all the things that I believe men should do. So I just wanted to add that. Girl, let a man be a man. Let him step up. Let him do what he needs to do. Because one thing about men is wherever their heart is, so too is their money. You know, so if you've got yourself a gentleman who is not spending anything on you and things like that, 9 times out of 10, he's not that interested in you. Like, that's just what it is. We're going to take out these pins right about now and let the hair start falling so we can see what it's going to do. But yeah, he's not that interested. That's just, I mean, it doesn't feel good to hear or say, but if he's got you in a we in the trenches and all this stuff together, I've talked about that before. I'll see if I can pin that video or put that video here. And all too often, after a man has been in the trenches with one woman, he begins to feel a kind of way about it because you've seen him at his lowest and because he needed you to provide that roof or keep that car or things like that. He sometimes can feel a certain way about that, right? And he begins to look for a woman who perhaps has not seen him in that light, who, you know, just views him as the up guy, the upwardly mobile guy that he wanted to be, even if and when he was with you. Like as you hear people talk about how builder women get left behind, or the woman that helped a man build with him gets left behind. This is some of what I find the philosophy and thought process of that is. But I don't want to go too far into that. I'm just saying that as you, a woman, get ready to go on a date, don't go needing for anything. So yeah, I ended up eating quite a bit as like an appetizer or whatever. Let me put my necklace on because as you see, I still don't have any nails on. And I fully intend to put some on, whether it's in the car or whatever. But I would even say that goes the same for sexually. Like if you're feeling, you know, the hormones are rising, he looking kind of fine, he looking kind of sexy, and now you're about to go on a date with him, take care of yourself before you go on that date with him. And you know what I mean. Take care of yourself so that your thinking is very clear, so that you're able to see exactly what he's talking about, exactly what he is about, and all of that. Because one thing I've learned, and sometimes through my own experience, I'm not going to pretend I have a whole lot of experience in that department, but both from my personal experience as well as some of my friends, and even just the language that some of these men are using as we are dating. Baby, can't nobody lay pipe like a broke man. Because, I mean, he's depending on that essentially for his livelihood. So, when you talk about put your back into it, that's exactly what he's going to do. So a lot of times they are going to try their absolute and very best to get you to Netflix, chill, you know, so they can touch something, kiss something, poke something, and girl, look what you made me do, and all that other stuff. And honey, once you start getting hypnotized with that, a lot of times you don't think as clearly. I know for me, that has happened. That has guided me into a relationship I didn't have no business in. And I'll grant you that the relationship lasted for years. It shouldn't have even lasted a week. Shouldn't have. All right, as you can see, I've thrown on my clothes and I'm starting to rush. So I'm gonna talk to you guys in the car. All right, so all that I was saying was, I think this is where I left off. Forgive me if I repeat myself, and I'll try to edit it out if I have. But I think it's important as women that when we're getting ready to go on dates, we're not coming from a position of need. Like, we're going on the date because it's something we want to do, because we're interested in doing. It's important that you've already poured into yourself and you've done things with, for, and by yourself that have made you feel like a full and whole person. You know what I mean? It's like, in my mind, when I think about coming together or even looking at someone seriously, going on dates and all of those things, I think it's important that you be the person that you need to be first. You be a person who is satisfied with yourself, because if and when you're not satisfied with yourself in any way, you're more willing to put up with things that are less satisfactory for you. I've seen where women have been flued out and stood up, and you would think, oh, that happened before, so the lesson has been learned. No, I see that people keep learning it. And so my hope and my wish for any of us is that we're not in the process of learning that we don't need those knots upside our head. I've gotten some knots upside my head, to be very clear, but that's not one of them. And so hopefully for you, that's also not one of them. All right, all of that being said, I'm on my way, and I'll try to whip out my camera if and when possible to let you see some of what's going on. And we'll talk more later.
Life has no meaning. You make me feel brand new.
I wanted to get back on and say goodbye, close out the vlog. I am so bad about that so often. And I also want to check out my new mic. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me well. While hoping it doesn't pick up all the sounds. I got some stuck on potato here, child. I was doing my baked potatoes. But anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out another vlog. I got a feeling this one is going to be a short one, and I already know why. I feel like I spent a lot of time ranting and complaining and all those things. And sometimes just talking about negative things makes me feel like I'm in a negative space. So if I look at it and I find that my energy is too low or that I sound too negative, I'm probably going to pick up the guy out that whole thing and just cut it down to bare minutes. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll find out once I get to it. You all who have been with me for a little bit, you know I have a ton of opinions. And the hardest opinions I have are about myself. Oh, I hope that light doesn't pick that up too much. I gotta be cognizant of that because I'm not used to wearing a mic. That being said, we've got a whole lot of new friends and I truly appreciate it. I thank you. Welcome to the channel. If you're someone who still hasn't subscribed yet, hi. I am Kymberly, as you probably figured out. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Hopefully as you watch videos and comment and chat with me and all of that stuff, you'll consider me to be a new friend. And if you're one of my good friends who have subscribed already, thank you so much for joining and checking on me. And I promise I'm not usually ranting and going on and on so much. So with that being said, let me stop going on and on right now. Oh yeah, and I don't always come on our rollers. I have before, but last night when I went to the party, it started raining. And you know what? They performed anyway. They touched down from Vegas, performed in the rain, and so I was kind of standing under a deck area, but every so often I'd get a raindrop or two. That's not what messed up my hair, it's the humidity. My hair can have no humidity whatsoever. And so after that, the rain finally stopped and then men were smoking cigars. Now, if you think your hair holds cigar smell in general, try it when it's damp, frizzy, or just a little bit wet, whatever. Oh, I couldn't even sleep. Like every time I would turn my head, I would just smell more and more smoke. So I had to rewash my hair, and I had just washed it, taken it down, pin curled it. Y'all saw the video. But anyway, yeah, we rewashed our hair, which is fine. We're getting ready to start a new work week anyway, so on the next video, I guess y'all will be coming with me to work because I ain't finna suffer through it by myself. And I say suffer, but the truth of the matter is I really do love teaching. I love being in there and interacting with the kids and being in a space and place where I know that I'm making a difference. But as much as I love teaching, I do not love what's happened to my profession. I mean, we've had so many changes and meetings and paperworks and charts and a new chart to change the chart, and the last chart didn't chart enough information. So like it's boggling. And I've said it before that you all will keep hearing that there's a teacher shortage. There is not a teacher shortage. I know a ton of teachers who have retired. I know many people who held a certificate, and they're more than willing to teach. They're just not willing to put up with all the paperwork and the charts and all of that. They're not willing to put up with all the stuff that comes with being a teacher. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love teaching. Being a teacher, that's a lot. And usually it's a lot put on us by people who make much more money than us and who say things like, well, you know, you didn't get into it for the money. I mean, just because you got into it for the money doesn't mean you should make my job harder, right? I mean, that's what we think, but I mean, well, let me not say that's what we think, because I ain't feeling my W-2 just now. Let me clear that up. That's what some teachers think, or so I've heard. I'm not necessarily saying that the opinions and views stressed by me are really from me. Let me go and close out the vlog. I'll see y'all in the next video, I hope. Take care. Oh, I'm about to get myself fired.